All right, welcome to the video explanation of how this gizmo works. Now, the company Gizmo has this simulation available, and they have two different options for worksheets of what to do for it. I thought they were both okay, but I didn't love either one of them, so I just went ahead and created my own. So this is a Mr. Brown original. It's kind of a hybrid between the two with a little bit of a review of artificial selection as well, and that's where we're going to get started. Just a note, I have a color code system that we used with this. So the light green, this kind of pale green color, that lets you know that it is a question you need to type an answer to. The black letters with no background, or a white background, I guess you could say, that's just scientific information that you need to read, and it kind of guides your thought process and teaches you as you go. Do not skip that. Your bright green just lets you know what part of the gizmo you're on, like activity A. And then your yellow, these are specific, absolutely necessary instructions that you need to do on the gizmo simulation in order for it to work properly. And that's about it. I think we've got some very bright blue, and those are just special notes of things you need to pay attention to, but there's only 2 or 3 of those throughout the gizmo. All right, let's start off with a little bit of a review about dogs. This illustration from an old textbook shows some of the over 150 different dog breeds that can be seen around the world today. How do you think all these different dog breeds were developed? Explain the process that we learned about in class. So you kind of already know what's going on here. How dogs were developed, different dog breeds that all stemmed over the last several thousand years from wolves. Remember, this process took a long time. 20 to 30,000 years ago, we had wolves. And today we have hundreds of dog breeds. Explain the process of selective breeding as you remember it from class. I'm going to let you do that in your own words right here. Here's a little bit of a help. Dog breeds and other varieties of domesticated animals were developed through a type of artificial selection called selective breeding. Over many generations, breeders selected which animals to mate in order to select for desired traits. Now we're on activity A, artificial selection. To begin this gizmo, select the artificial selection option. If you have adjusted any settings, click reset. So here we go. We have our simulation right here. We're on artificial selection, and reset if you've adjusted any settings, which we have not yet. And let's move on from there. Drag the 10 bugs into the breeding alcoves on the left side of the gizmo. Once all breeding pairs are set, they will automatically produce offspring. And you got a question coming. How many breeding pairs are there? So we're dragging the 10 bugs into the breeding alcoves. Let's look at that. Okay, so these breeding alcoves are these little areas on the left. And right now, it doesn't matter which ones I put where. I can move them straight across. I can mix and match. I can do whatever I feel like, especially right now, because if you didn't notice, all these bugs, they look identical. They all just seem like they're white bugs. Okay, so now I've got a bunch of bugs here. Let's see what my question was. How many breeding pairs are there? All right. Well, that's 1 breeding pair. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's 5 pairs, 5 couples. How many total offspring are produced this generation? So these bugs that are outside of the breeding alcoves, like directly to the right, these are all the offspring. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 20 offspring. Again, these bugs are the parents. These bugs out here are the offspring, and there are 20 of them. We've got our first special note. The breeding pairs will produce offspring, and those offspring can be found directly to the right of the breeding pair. It is not random. They stay in the same row, which is nice because now we can tell which kids came from which parents. So when these 2 bugs at the top have babies, they have these 4 children. 1, 2, 3, 4. These bugs are not crawling around or mixing and matching or anything. they're being produced directly to the right of their parents. All right, that makes it nice because then we know who came from who. Click on one of the offspring bugs to reveal its genotype and phenotype on the lower right side. All right, so I'm going to click on this bug. Oh, and my parents disappeared, but I guess that's all right. So I just clicked on a random bug. Here we go, and here's its genotype, and here's its phenotype. Let's see what it wants us to do with that. During sexual reproduction, genetic information from both a male and female is combined. This genetic information, or DNA, is condensed into strands of chromosomes, called chromosomes. The child receives chromosomes from both mother and father. Each matching pair of chromosomes is home to many genes. There are special pieces of DNA that give the code for certain traits. Sometimes a trait is controlled by just one gene. Other times, there are several genes that all contribute to that trait. In humans, eye color is affected by 16 different genes. So this is real. In humans, it's not just whatever you have in one spot in your DNA determines your eye color. There are 16 different spots on your chromosomes that all influence the color of your eyes. It's like 16 different artists they all pass around the same piece of paper and add their splotch of color to it. And when it's all mixed together, that's what color of eyes you have from 16 different spots on the chromosome, on even different chromosomes probably. In this gizmo, you will see something like this image under the word genotype. So this is just an example. You're going to see something like this, okay? Let's make sure we see that. Yes, here it is, right there. The image above shows us the two chromosomes that this particular bug inherited from its parents. So these are the chromosomes, all right? And this bug got one chromosome from its mom, and it got one chromosome from its dad. Now, whichever one is on the left and the right, it does not matter. These can be switched around, and I don't know if this one came from the mom and this one came from the dad. That's just the way I said it. In the example from the picture, you can see that each chromosome is divided into 3 little segments. These segments are genes. So this is making it easy for us, and it's showing us where the genes are. It's saying at the top of this at the top of this chromosome is 1 gene and 2 genes and 3 genes. And these match. So like the bottom gene on this chromosome is going to be the same gene on this chromosome. So if we're coding for the color of bug here, those bottom ones, they're like a matching pair, kind of like 2 different socks, or 2 socks that match, I should say. Now here you have these matching middle genes, and you have the matching top genes. You might say, well, that's not matching. That's kind of a blue, a light blue versus a white. Yes, you can have different alleles or different varieties of the same gene in that spot, but the spot is matching, okay? We're not matching up color of bug with wingspan of bug. They both correlate to be the same trait. Okay. An allele is a form of a gene. In this example, we are looking at the different alleles that can all contribute to the color of the bug. The image below shows you what different alleles are possible in this simulation. So W is for white, R is for red, G is for green, B is for blue, C for cyan, M for magenta, Y for yellow, and K for black. So this one has three different spots or 3 different genes coming from mom and 3 different genes coming from dad. And in that gene, you can have a variation or a variety of alleles that are present in that spot. And then the combination of mom's gene and dad's gene, or mom's allele and dad's allele, gives you your genotype on that location. So this one just happens to have one odd one out, I guess you could say, of what is apparently C for cyan in this spot. So that bug overall has, I would say it's like 6 different little painters, and 5 of those painters are using white paint and 1 is using cyan paint, and they're all mixing the paint together and forming the color of the bug. Okay, From our example in the picture of chromosomes above, you can see that the chromosome on the left has these alleles, W, C, and W. The chromosome on the right has these alleles, W, W, and W. These alleles will work together at each location, the upper gene, the middle gene, and the lower gene, to contribute to the overall color of the bug. The overall color of the bug is called the phenotype. A phenotype is basically just the trait that you can see. Remember, physical is like I can physically see that trait, phenotype. This gizmo gives a score for the amount of each color found in the phenotype of the bug. In my example bug, the phenotype looks like this. Red has a score of 213. That's like a pigment score. Green has 255 and blue has 255. And then there's also this fitness thing right below. I wonder what that's about. You should notice that at the bottom of the phenotype scores is a fitness score. The fitness score tells you how likely this bug is to survive and reproduce in its environment. So this bug has a 50%, a 56% fitness score for that individual bug from my example. The individual fitness score should be compared to the average fitness score of the population, which can be found beneath the trash can at the bottom of the breeding grounds. Let's look for that. Here's the breeding grounds, here's the trash can. The average fitness score of this population right now is 50%. If the individual you clicked on is more fit than the average, then it will likely survive and reproduce. If it is less fit than its friends and neighbors, then it is more likely to be a predator's lunch. That's not a guarantee. Remember, it's all just playing the odds. It's like rolling dice. However, if you are more fit than your neighbors, then you're going to be more likely to survive, okay? Click on several of the offspring bugs that do not have a circle around them and observe the genotype for each. Then find a bug with a circle drawn around it and click on it. Hint, you may have to repeat the process if you do not get a bug with a circle on it the first attempt. Well, I think we did. So yes, we definitely did. So I'm going to click on this bug. Its genotype is pretty straightforward. White, 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 and that's all coming from one parent. We'll say the left one is the mom, okay? White, 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 and white, white, white. That is pretty straightforward. This one, well, same thing, and same thing, and same thing. Remember our parents at the beginning, they were just two white bugs, which kind of explains our offspring. Now this one has a circle around it. I'm going to click there. I notice already that it's a little bit bluer, and look what I have here. There is one blue allele. Where the heck did it get that? There was no blue bugs to begin here. How come you inherited a trait that did not come from mom or dad? What's up with that? We'll figure it out. What is different about the genotype of the bug with the circle around it and compared to the rest of the population? Well, it has a blue allele on one of the chromosomes. At least that's my example, right? Will yours be different? Absolutely it will, all right? Do whatever your gizmo is telling you to do. Most of the time, traits are passed down directly from parents to offspring, but occasionally mutations occur. A mutation is when a random change in the DNA causes the organism to have an allele that is not given to it from a parent. In the Gizmo simulation, organisms with mutations have been circled. Mutations are all random and they may affect the fitness of the organism. Aha, so this is just letting us know, hey, this one had a mutation. It inherited these 5 white alleles from its parents. And its parents tried to pass on a white allele here, but it mutated and it turned it blue, and that's affecting this individual. Click on the bug that has a mutation. How does the mutation affect that individual bug's chance of survival compared to the rest of the bug population? Make a claim about the effect of the mutation and then back up that claim with evidence from the data. All right, so our average fitness across the entire population right now is 50%. And I'm clicking there and I'm looking over here in my phenotype. This bug's fitness score is 50%. So it didn't decrease its fitness percentage. It didn't increase it. That sounds like a neutral mutation to me. It had no effect up or down on the bug's chance of survival and reproduction. All right, so make a claim about the effect of the mutation. That's what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to go claim, be all official like. Let's see. The mutation was neutral. I'm going to say the mutation had no effect on the bug's chances of success. And I always use the wrong effect every time. And I'm going to say it was a neutral mutation. And back up that claim with evidence. So I'm going to put evidence right there. And I'm going to say the average fitness score is 50%. And so is my mutant bug. So had no effect. Okay. When humans are selecting the traits they prefer in a plant or animal through selective breeding, they don't usually choose the traits that would make the organism more fit in nature. For this simulation, let's pretend you are a breeder of fancy bugs. You have very high-profile clients, including kings, queens, and Taylor Swift, who want your fancy bugs. This year, bright pink bugs are all the rage. The trouble is, you only have white bugs. And for me, a little blue bug, right? Slightly blue. Now, again, yours is different. So you better not copy down exactly what I said word for word unless you have the exact mutation I do. You need to have your own statement here based on your own data, all right? So you only have white bugs and one mutant in my case. You must rely on random mutations to give you pink alleles in a few bugs. And then you must select those lucky bugs to reproduce generation after generation until you have brighter and pinker bugs. Your first step is to toss a few bugs in the garbage until you only have the bugs left over that you want to be your next breeding couples. So we're tossing bugs in the garbage because we don't want those particular bugs to reproduce because they don't have the traits that we like. If you don't have any pink mutations in the group, that's me right now, then it doesn't matter much which ones you toss because none of them have the pink alleles. But if you do have a lucky random pink mutation, be sure to hold on to it for later. You want that bug to breed, right? So it can pass on that trait. Waiting for the right mutation can really test your patience. After the 5th generation, let's make it a bit easier on ourselves by increasing the rate of mutation from 1 all the way up to 7 and see how much that helps. Make sure every time you get a pink mutation, you allow that bug to be part of a breeding pair. The more pink alleles in the population, the faster we can make a bug that is completely pink. All right, so right now, even my blue bug right here, it's not doing me any good because blue ain't pink. So because I have no pink alleles, none of these bugs have the trait that I want. So they are all in the garbage. Not all of them. I need to keep some to breed, right? But I'm going to reduce this down until the trash can goes away. That's how I know I am down to my 10 bugs to make my 5 breeding pairs. Now in the future, I'm going to establish a pattern of putting my best bugs near the top, like my pinkest bugs near the top, and my worst bugs near the bottom. But right now, they all equally suck, so it doesn't matter. All right, I have 2 mutations. So I already know because these are 2 white parents and there is no mutations that all their babies are nothing but white chromosomes, right? This one has a mutation and it's cyan. This one has a mutation and it's blue again. So that stinks. And now I am getting rid of these pink bugs. Well, these non-pink bugs. Okay, doesn't matter which one I get rid of. All right, now I've gotten rid of enough. I can create some breeding pairs. And I'm on generation 3 right now. And I'm just hoping for a pink allele to mutate its way into my population. Did I? Nope, black. Aha! Look at that. So I have my first pink mutation. I love it. Wait a second, that says M. M is for magenta, son of a gun. Um, well, I guess magenta is basically pink, right? We have white, red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, black. So it's true. I actually don't have a true pink, apparently. Magenta is what I'm going for. Okay. All right. I've got it, right? No, not that one. This one. So I need to make sure this bug does not die right now. I want this bug to reproduce. So I'm going to get rid of all the ones around it so I can be careful. And then once I've eliminated all the bugs I don't want to reproduce, now I'm going to start this pattern of having my best bugs at the top. Right now I've got one best bug and the rest are losers. They do not have the traits that I like. And I really want that huge payday from Taylor Swift for selling her the pink bug. Okay, good. So my fear was that my parent bug would not pass on the right chromosome. So whenever you have a parent, it's kind of the toss of a coin of which chromosome it gives to its child. So it's just eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and the bug will randomly give one entire chromosome to its baby. And then so that's like what the mother does, right? It's just eeny, meeny, miny, mo from the mom. And then the dad does the same thing, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and it gives that whole chromosome to the baby. And the baby's just a combination of these two. So I was afraid that I only have one magenta or pink. I only have one pink, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, allele. And it was only a 50% chance that allele even made it into each of these babies. So it was 50-50 on each child. And I lost this game 3 times, but thankfully I won at least once. So I'm checking my other mutations here. That's green, and no other mutations happened. And now I'm on generation 5, as you can see right here. Now I get to up my rate of mutation. Now, in nature, plants and animals can't just say, I think I'm going to mutate more now. That's a dangerous game anyway. I don't think I'd even want to play that game. But because this is a simulation, I can just say, you know what? I'm going to increase this rate of mutation up to 7. And I'm going to put my best bugs forward. I've been getting like, what, 1 mutation per group of offspring, right? Well, now I'm going to up that to more. And we'll find out how much more soon. Yes, that pink one, that pink allele is sticking around. And this one, I got a random mutation again. Now, these 2 bugs right here, this is my pink bug. My bug with the pink allele was right here, and it passed its DNA to this line of 4 bugs, including this beautiful bug right here and this one right here, but not you. You can go away. Now this has a pink mutation and this has a pink mutation, but those were just lucky, right? These are just mutations that did not come from their parents. So let's go through and get rid of all my worst bugs, which really is just any bug without the pink allele. And I'm not going to do this entire process because I don't want to spend that much time on the YouTube video. And plus, you're doing slightly different work anyway. But I want to do enough that you get the idea. All right. So here's a pink one, and here's a pink one, and here has pink, and this one 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 has pink. Or no, this one doesn't have pink. These are all just the ones I have to use out of necessity. This is a very pink bug. Oh, yes. It inherited this chromosome from mom, which includes this pink allele, and it inherited this chromosome from dad, which also includes this pink allele. Sweet. That is great news for me. And these ones did not get the traits that I wanted, right? They inherited the wrong trait from both mom and dad. That one has pink. That one has 2 pink. Sweet. That one has one pink. That one has no pink. You're gone. One pink, no pinks. You're gone. One pink, no pinks. You're gone. No pink. You're gone. You're gone. And you're gone. And you're gone. And what I have left, my best bug forward with my other best bugs. And now I'm just hoping for the best, right? Remember, each parent bug gives one whole chromosome, but the alleles stay in the same spot. Still two pink. When I say two pink, I mean it has two pink alleles right here. That one has two pink alleles. That one has two pink alleles. Sweet. You have one, you have two, you have zero. So these ones that have zero, I might as well just start getting rid of them, right? So bad, bad, not what I want. I'm going to do one more generation, and then we'll move on to the next question. A lot of these are starting to get pink, right? I'm slowly having success. Okay. Ooh, I have more bugs with pink than I have spots. And all these have one. So any bug with just one allele is equally as bad. So I might as well get rid of it. Okay, now I have, this one has two. Oops. Oh, I still have to get rid of one more. Are you serious? Okay. This one has two. And 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 the rest of these just have one. One, 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 one. So the idea here is I'm breeding the pinkest bugs together. Let's see what I get. You have two, 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 you have one, none. You're garbage for sure. This has two, this has two, this has two. One. No, that's none. None. And the rest of these just have one. So now I'm just getting rid of the one pink allele bugs. Two, one. Not good enough. Just one and just one. Two. Wow, so I'm to the point in life here where I'm getting rid of bugs with two pink alleles. That's a good sign for me, right? All right. Two and two and two and two. Come on, I want a three. Yes. This is my first three pink bug. I love it. Only one. You're gone. Two and two and two and two. Anyway, you can see the process here, right? I'm going to take this bug as my best bug. It's got three pink alleles. I'll put it up here. And eventually you can get every single bug or every single allele being pink. This might take you a while, but it sounds like kind of fun. It's a little bit of a game. Okay. You're going to continue. You're going to finish the process. I'm moving on. All right. Remember, the placement of the alleles matters. If you have a pink allele on the bottom of a chromosome and that chromosome is passed on to the next generation, then the offspring will inherit a pink allele on the bottom of its chromosome. It's not just going to magically move to the middle. It's in the same spot as the parents. But each child only inherits one chromosome from each parent, so the chromosome with that trait that you want only has a 50% chance of getting passed on. That's for each child, right? It's like flipping a coin with each child. Keep working at it until you have a bug that has 6 pink alleles. This is the one we will sell for thousands of dollars. It may take many generations, but when you have it, answer the next question. How many generations did it take you to make a completely pink bug? Well, that's hard for me to answer because I'm only on generation 10, but I'm going to guess it would probably take me like 30. You're going to get an actual answer. I'm going to say 30 ish. How would this experiment have been different if you weren't able to adjust the mutation rate and it stayed at 1 the entire time, the whole time? Oof. I think it would have taken a lot longer because if I'm only getting a rare mutation in, it's probably gonna take a long time before I get even one pink mutation, right? I mean, in this scenario, I was getting like 5 mutations each round, and some of them were bad, like some of them were white or red or green or blue, and occasionally I would get one that was, I guess, technically magenta, right, pink. Um, but if I only have one generation each round, then it's going to take an average of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 generations before even a single pink mutation happens to land uh, happens to land the way that I want it to, right? So with a low mutation rate, it's hard to get the exact mutation that you want. But with a higher mutation rate, you are more likely to get bad mutations, but also more likely to get good mutations. Let me tell you, it is the worst when you have a great bug like this with 3 of the alleles that you want, and then it mutates and goes away from the pink or away from the trait that you like. But it happens, right? Happens all the time. Okay. How fit are your beetles compared to their habitat? Well, I'm going to click on my prize beetle right here. My average fitness is 49%, and my fittest bug, my favorite bug, is only 39%. Why is this fitness so low? Because in nature, these bugs do not blend in with their environment at all. I'm on artificial selection, selective breeding, and I'm just selecting the traits that I like, not the traits that are best in nature. So you explain what you think right here. Does it matter that these bugs are not green like their habitat? If you're a breeder trying to get pink bugs and there's not even a predator because this is nature, this is just your little farm in your backyard, with no predator, there's not really a reason to blend in. And if you're purposefully selecting these traits that don't blend in, you can't be surprised that they don't blend in, right? What factors did you look for to decide which bugs to throw in the trash? Are those the same factors that nature would look for out in the wild? Explain. I'm not looking for which bugs would survive a predator best by blending in. I'm looking for the brightest, pinkest bugs that I can sell to royalty plus Taylor Swift for thousands of dollars because I am a bug breeder, a breeder of fancy bugs. I'm looking for the traits that make me the most money, not the traits that nature would select for because they're the most likely to keep the animal alive. You can put that in your own words. Take a screenshot of the chromosomes of your completely pink bug and insert it below. Well, I can't do that yet because I gave up early because I want to make this video shorter. But you will do that. If the Queen of Persia suddenly decided she liked blue bugs, what process would you use to get those for her? Explain your thinking. Oh man, you go to all this work to make the pinkest bugs, and then all of a sudden the Queen of Persia is like, "I'll give you $1 million for a blue bug." Well, then you gotta pivot, right? You gotta adjust your thinking. And I would say, oh, that's not blue, that's cyan, but it's close. I would have to go in and find a bug with a blue mutation, like this one, and I would have to just start breeding that trait more frequently and more frequently. Activity B. Click on the Natural Selection tab beneath the breeding grounds. Click Reset if you have made any adjustments. All right, so Natural Selection, and I tried to click Reset, but I haven't adjusted anything, so I don't need to. Okay. Click the play button and observe what happens as the first few generations pass. Press pause after a few generations. Oh, wait. I skipped some. My bad. Notice how all the bugs have been reset to completely white. I notice. What is the average fitness level of this population? 50%, right back where we started. Okay, 50%. Click the play button and observe what happens as the first few generations pass. Press pause after a few generations. What processes happened during each generation? Don't leave any out. All right, so I'm looking for processes here. Now, again, this is natural selection. So you're going to have to do a lot less work here because you're not being the breeder who does all the selecting and pairing and matching and eliminating. You're letting nature do it. So let's watch what happens here. Those bugs, they bred together of their own. They produced kids. A predator came and ate some of them. And then the survivors bred together, produced more kids. And a predator came in and ate some. The survivors bred together, produced kids. And a predator came in and ate some. And the survivors bred together, produced kids. And a bird came through, a predator came in and ate some. The survivors, you get the picture, right? Let's do this until we hit generation 10. We're already at 7. See, this moves a lot quicker if we just let nature do its thing. And I'm going to pause. Bam. So we started with a whole bunch of white bugs, and I have a high mutation rate, right? I have it all the way up to 7 still. But you can already see how much variety we're getting now. And it seems to be leaning towards a lot more of the green bugs. Our average fitness has gone up to 65% on average. But some of these bugs, if I click here, like this bug has a fitness of 78%. Dang. 72, 72, 72, 61. We have some fit bugs here, right? Okay. Let's see what the Gizmo wants from us. What processes happen during each generation? Oh, don't leave any out. So bugs pair up, bugs breed together and produce offspring. A predator eliminates some of those offspring, and the survivors breed together to produce the next generation. Okay. Allow the simulation to continue until you see a bug with a mutation. Then press pause. Click on that bug and compare that bug's fitness score to the average fitness score of the group. Well, that is easy. So, average fitness score, 65. I'm going to click on this bug. This bug's fitness score is only 50. So, this bug does not have a great mutation. Its fitness score is bad. Okay. Is this mutation beneficial, harmful, or neutral for the bug? If there are multiple mutations, evaluate them each. So if you have your setting clear up to 7 like mine, and there's a whole bunch of bugs with mutations, then don't evaluate each, all right? If you have 2, then evaluate them both. But right now, let's just pick 1, okay? So I would say this mutation is harmful. Its score is, what percentage was that? 65% average, and this one's 50%. So it's 15% lower than the average. Is 15% lower than average. That means this bug's more likely to die. How does the environment determine which mutations would be considered harmful or beneficial? Well, it's for this particular set of bugs, it's about blending in, right? And if the leaves are green, the bugs are mutating randomly. And if you happen to get a green mutation, then lucky you. This bug happened to get pink and black. That's kind of a rough combo for matching living on a green leaf. So if our background was pink, he would be in luck. But our background is green. So that random mutation happened to be harmful. Increase the simulation speed by 1 notch and watch for about 30 generations. Then press pause. Now, what is the average fitness score of the population? How has it changed? Or is it the same as generation one? All right, so we're going to let it flow for about 30 generations on super speed. Not all the way super speed, because then it'll count by the thousands, one notch higher. Our starting fitness was 50%. After 10 generations, we're at 65%. Let's see what happens when we go 30 more generations until we hit generation 40. Things are going to move so fast right now, you won't even hardly be able to track what's happening. But you should know with each generation, there's breeding, there's offspring. Natural selection eliminates the weakest, and the survivors breed together and produce a more fit generation than the previous one. Most of the time, anyway. We're going up to 40, right? We're already at 25. These bugs are looking greener and greener. Is every bug immediately just green? Heck no, I see reds and pinks all over in there. But whenever I see a really bad mutation, it seems like it gets picked out a lot easier, right? Like if you see a bright, like let's try to track one. That's a bad one. Yep, it got eaten. That's a bad one. Yeah, it got eaten. That's a bad one. Yeah, it got eaten. That's a bad one. It got eaten. That's a good one. Yeah, still got eaten. That's a great bug. That one, it blends in super well. Oh, wait, pause. Oops, I accidentally went all the way to 40. But look, I can tell you right now, this bug will be eaten. Like there's a 90% chance this bug is getting eaten because it doesn't blend in at all. Its mutations are not great. Yep, there it goes. I can tell you right now, this bug's mutation is gonna cause it to be eaten because it's the most obvious bug in the field, right? A lot of these bugs are super blended in, and that only took 40 generations. Okay, now what is the average fitness? How has it changed, or is it the same? Our average fitness now is 91%. Dang. So I'm going to put it has increased to a whopping 91%, at least for my simulation. If yours is different, then you better write down what happened in yours. I really want to, unhighlight that. But where's my, there we go. Don't want that to be highlighted. There we go. Click on each of the bugs. What new alleles can be found in the population that weren't there in the beginning? And where did these alleles come from? Now we've got red alleles, yellow, black. So, oh, darn it. Maybe I'm zoomed in too much. It's giving me grief. There we go. Let's see, we've got red, yellow, black, and I'm guessing if I click on every single one of these bugs, they're going to have one thing in common. Tons of green alleles. Tons. That one has 5 out of 6. That bug is near perfect. Okay. And I'm going to put it in all caps. Tons of green alleles. And where did they come from? They started as random mutations, and the good ones got passed down more often. Okay. Increase the speed to the third level and then click play. Now things will be moving so fast that you won't be able to see the bird hunt or the bugs reproduce, but you should know that it is still happening. Sooner or later, the average fitness score will reach between 80 or 90%. When this happens, press pause. Wait, we're already at 91. So I can even just skip that step for my simulation. Click on a bug and observe its genotype. What alleles make this bug more fit than its ancestors? Well, I've already clicked on that bug. It has 5 green alleles on a green leaf. That's what makes it more fit than its ancestors. What is with the highlight today? You're probably dealing with the same thing. Probably just the way I built the Gizmo. My bad, folks. Click on a bug that appears to be slightly less fit than its neighbors. What alleles are making this bug less fit? You. Definitely you. Yeah, you've got 2 reds and a black and a yellow. Those ain't helping. red, black, and yellow. You know, I'm not even going to bother with this background highlight anymore. I'm just going to leave it so we can keep moving on. Adjust the speed all the way down to the slowest setting again, and then click play. As you do, watch what happens to the bug that you deemed as less fit. After one generation, click pause. So I am deeming you, Sir Red and Yellow and Black, as the least fit bug in the community. And I'm slowing this down so I can watch what happens to you. Wait, you got eaten. It's already gone. Dang it, I'm gonna have to do this again. So play, pause. All right, this is tough because a lot of these bugs are pretty fit. If I had to say one stuck out, I would say this dark one. It is 83% fit and the average is 90, so that's probably a safe guess. Let's watch what happens to this individual bug. Will it survive and reproduce or be bird lunch? Aha, it survived. Lucky it. All right, I'm choosing this bug now. I am bad luck here. This one survived. This bug's gonna die. Of course. This bug's for sure gonna die. It is not fit for its environment. Hey, I got one right. Look at that. These bugs, both of them, gone. Well, 1 for 2. Not bad. This bug, okay, no chance this bug survives, right? There we go. Finally, something is right with the world. That was a horrible mutation, right? All right, as you can see, it's not a perfect system. There can be individuals, I better pause it at the beginning of a generation. There can be individuals that have a mutation that make them slightly worse that still outcompete some of the competition. Life isn't perfect or clear cut, right? But it does increase, your differences do increase or decrease the likelihood of surviving and reproducing in nature. Okay, what happened to the bug you identified as less fit? Did it get lucky and survive, or did it get eaten? It got lucky and survived the first round or two. If it survived, click play and watch for a few more generations. Hey, we did that. What has happened to that bug and its offspring? If your bug got eaten after just one generation, you can skip this question. Well, eventually the bad mutations got scooped up by the predator. Click play again, but adjust your speed setting to the 3rd notch. When your average fitness reaches above 95, quickly adjust your background color so that green and red are set to 0, while the blue setting is at 255. Quickly press pause. So click play again, but adjust your speed to the 3rd notch. When your average fitness reaches above 95, quickly adjust your background color so that green and red are at 0 and blue is at 255. Okay, so I'm causing a quick change in the environment, and I want this simulation speed to be up. All right, I'm looking for a 95%. Kind of goes up and down, but generally it goes up. 87, 86, 87, 86, 89, 86, 90, 89, 93. I'm looking for above 95. And then I'm going to set my red and my green to 0 quickly when it hits above 95. 97, okay, so 0, 0, blue all the way up. Dang, my environment just changed. Now, pause. I changed my environment very quickly. Let's see, click play again, but adjust your speed, setting to the 3rd notch. Oh, I just did these things. What is your average fitness now? Now, these bugs were like 97% fit, but now the new environment causes them to be unfit. They are unfit for the new environment, and the average fitness is just 36%. How do you expect the population to adjust to this change to the environment? Well, I think in the long run, we'll see more blue alleles become common. That's what I think anyway, because I saw that happen with the green. What is the difference between natural selection and artificial selection? Well, I'm going to let you answer this in your own words. You should know artificial selection is when humans are the ones doing the work, selecting the traits that we like, and natural selection is whatever is most likely to survive and reproduce. Put that in your own words, highlight the differences, and put it here. Click play and watch the simulation as your population evolves to be fit in the new environment. With the simulation still running, slowly adjust all the sliders to whatever colors you like. Keep an eye on the number of generations that are flying by and think about how many years this would represent in real life. With time in the gizmo flying by so quickly, it's easy to think that these populations are changing fast. But that is not the case in real life. Big changes can take thousands or millions of years. Play with the simulation colors for a few minutes until you're ready to move on to the next part. All right, so click play and watch the simulation as the population evolves to be fit in the new environment. With the simulation still running, adjust the sliders. So I'm going to adjust this to level 3 speed. Look at these generations fly by. Hundreds of generations have gone by, and now these things are bright blue, and you can see little like flickers of light. That's when a mutation that's bad gets thrown in, but it gets eliminated so fast because these predators are eating super fast. So fast because these years are just zooming by. What if I get rid of the blue? Ooh, now if I have zeros on everything, now it is black. If I go high red, the bugs will change to be red. What if I go back to black? What if I change the mutation rate down to like almost nothing, and then I went crazy on the colors? Oh, this is going slow now because it takes a long time for a good mutation to happen if they're mutating so slow. But I'm guessing once we get one good mutation, wow, this is taking hundreds of generations. I'm so fascinated. Let's wait, we got a good mutation. They're slightly more red now. Their fitness is 78%. Let's increase our speed here. Our fitness is still only 89%. Okay. And if I change to green, if I add my green and my yellow, or my red at the same time, I kind of get yellow here. So we're going to get into mutation rates. There we go. 2,791 generations have gone by. This represents a massive amount of time that we just simulated at super speed. Okay, I'm moving on. You can move on when you're ready. Mutation rates. Hey, that's what we just looked at. And look, we're so close to being done. All right, mutation rates. Click reset to begin at generation 1. All that time. Why can I not click reset? Generation, oh, I did. It is generation 1. I just have my background. It's yellow. Okay, I'm going to keep it at yellow. So, all right, we're at generation 1, and we're moving on. Actually, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Let's go with a nice... Let's go with a nice pale cyanish color. Yeah, I like... Oh, no, purple. Purple it is. Okay. So, click reset to generation 1. Question to think about. How does the mutation rate affect a population's ability to adapt to its environment? Click the mutation rate or change the mutation rate to 0.1 and the sim speed slider to its slowest setting. Oh boy. Click play and then pause when the offspring appear. All right, so mutation rate 0.1. Sim speed slow. Click play and click pause when the offspring appear. Record the number of mutations. Those are the circled ones, right? And then repeat for 2 more trials. Do this for each mutation rate listed in the table, then calculate the average number of mutations for each mutation rate. Okay, so I just did trial 1. So with a mutation rate of 0.1 in trial 1, let's see how many mutations I have. 0, right? No mutations. Every child inherited only what its parents gave it. 0. And let's try again for one more generation, or a second generation. And breeding and offspring. And there's another 0. Let's do it one more time. And here's the, oh boy, 0. So that was 3 whole generations with no mutations. Man, this organisms, or this species, DNA must be very well protected. It must be locked up. That's easy to calculate the average, right? 0 plus 0 plus 0 divided by 3 equals 0. Now I'm going to change it to 1. So from 0.1 to 1. I know I can get some mutations with a 1 mutation rate, all right? So here's 1 generation right here. Hey, I got 1 mutation. Sweet. Here's our second generation. 0. That'll be easy to remember. And 0. All right, so trial 2 was a 0. Trial 3 was a 0. So 1 plus 0 plus 0 equals 1 divided by 3. That is 0.33. I already know the math. That is 1/3 of a mutation per generation, according to my small study. I'm going to let you do it with 10. It will be a ton, right? If you go all the way up to 10, we didn't even play around with this earlier, but if you do 1 generation with a mutation rate of 10, yeah, you have mutations all over the place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Dang. I'm going to let you figure this out. You add the 3 up, divide them by 3 to get the average, and then you'll move on to the next one. How does the mutation rate relate to the number of mutations? Well, that is obvious. The higher the mutation rate, the more mutations happen with each generation. Form a hypothesis. How do you expect the rate of mutations to affect the ability of the bug population to adapt to its environment? I kind of already messed with that a little bit, right? If the population mutates slow, I'm just gonna let you put this in your own words. I'm not gonna type it out for you, but if the population mutates slowly, it's gonna take a lot longer to randomly get a good mutation that matches your environment. If your population mutates fast, you're more likely to get a good mutation quicker. But you're also getting bad mutations, right? Click reset. Set the mutation rate to 0.1 and move the sim speed slider to the 3rd level. All right, so reset, sim speed to level 3, and mutations to 0.1. Oh boy. Click play and then click pause when the average fitness is 90% or greater. Okay. So I'm actually going to change my background color right here because I'm starting out at a fitness of 73, and that seems too easy. Now I have an average fitness of 50. That's what I want to start with. Okay, so I'm going to push play and then click pause when the average fitness gets to 90% or greater. Remember, my mutation or my sim speed is super fast, so my generations are going to be flying by, but my mutation rate is so slow. So play, and I'm watching my average fitness. When it gets to hit 90 or better, basically when it hits 90, I'm clicking pause. Come on, we're at 76. Give me some good mutations. Oh, it's been 400 generations already. Dang, imagine if I was doing this with artificial selection. This would have taken days. Wow, that's going so slow. We're only at 76. We're coming up on 800 generations. I need like some elevator music. 1,000 generations, still at 76% fit. There's it. And 87. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it seemed like once I got a good mutation, that helped the population a lot. So that took 1,057 generations. Wowza, to be 90% fit. Okay, so what do I do with that? Record the number of generations required to reach 90% fitness in each table. You will run 3 trials of the simulation for each setting and then calculate the average. So I'm going to do, that took, what did I say, 1,057? Dang. Now I'm going to go trial 2. I'm going to cheat here, and you can cheat here too. Reset. I'm going to bump up my speed 1 level higher and see how that affects it. I don't want it to go so fast that I miss it, but that took way too long. See, this one's already at 90. So I missed it by a little bit, right? I was talking. So I'm gonna say that took about 400 generations that time. That happened faster. That one happened faster, and it wasn't just because my sim speed was faster. That was just a coincidence. Sometimes random generation or random good mutations happen right away, but that's just dumb luck. Sometimes they take forever. That's why we're doing 3 different trials. We're gonna do 1 more, and then I'm turning you loose to work on your own. We'll see if the 1,000 was the odd one out or if the 400 was the odd one out. We're already in the 400s now. '83. Dang, we're already past our first trial. Thankfully, the simulation is going so stinking fast. 90. All right. That took 1,415 generations. So I've got a huge variety here, a huge spread. You're going to add these 3 numbers together. Well, actually, what you're going to do is add your 3 numbers together as you do this, and then write down divide them by 3, and that's how you find your average. It seems like this trial 2 was just dumb luck, right? Then you're gonna bump up your mutation rate to 0.3. Then you're gonna bump up your mutation rate to 0.5, to 1, and all the way up to 10. Okay, these ones are gonna take the longest. These ones are gonna happen fast because you're mutating so quickly. When you're done, move on to the next part. And look, we're almost there. Analyze. How does the mutation rate affect the speed at which a population adapts to its environment? You're going to have to look at your data. I only have 1 speed written down here. You look at your data and see which mutation rate took the longest and which mutation rate allowed the species to adapt the quickest. Then you're going to move on to the letter F. Think and discuss. You may have noticed that above a certain mutation rate, the time required for a population to adapt to its background may increase. Why do you think that is so? So you're going to have to look at your data and then answer this question. Why above a certain rate of mutation does it take longer for the species to adapt? For the species to adapt. Think about it. Talk about it with your neighbors. What do you think? Apply. Scientists doing artificial breeding experiment often. They're doing artificial breeding experiments. Often use radiation or other methods to increase the mutation rate. Why is a high mutation rate useful? If you're trying to do artificial breeding, why do you want a mutation rate that's bigger than like 0.1? Maybe it's because you don't have 1,000 generations worth of bugs to just, mess around. You kind of want to get things moving. Why do you think? Put it in your own words right here. Use the Gizmo to develop a population of insects that are well adapted to their environment. Average fitness above 90%. Change the mutation rate to 0.1 and run the simulation. Then observe the mutation or observe the population with a mutation rate of 10. What do you notice? All right, so I'm trying to get above 91%. Look, I've already got it, easy. So now I'm going to slow things down a bit. We'll slow down to level 2 so I can actually see what's happening here. My mutation rate is 0.1. I'm going to push play. I'm noticing blue bugs, blue bugs, blue bugs, blue bugs, blue bug. Oh wait, we got a dark. The one mutant got eaten. It must have been less fit, right? These are not mutating very much. They're remaining at 91% fitness as an average for a long period of time. And I'm guessing if I increase the simulation speed, let's go more and more and more. Speed this thing up. Hey, now they're at 95. But there's not a whole lot of variation, right? There's not a whole lot of ups and downs with this number. Now I'm going to, let's slow this back down. Now I'm going to change my mutation rate to 10 and see what happens. Right now you might be thinking, I can already see what's going to happen. I've got mutants everywhere. And look at my fitness. It goes down to 87, up to 93, down to 91, up to 93, down to 89. Why is this everywhere? Why is the average fitness so up and down? Well, it's because you already had a very fit population, but now you're mutating all over the place. And some of those mutations are going to be bad, right? You have a high amount of mutations, and they're just random. They're all over the board. That's what I notice. You can put down what you notice right here. Very last question. We did it, y'all. If a population is already well adapted to its environment, will most mutations be helpful or harmful? What do you think? If the population is already well adapted to its environment, the existing environment it lives in, are most mutations going to make it better adapted? Or will most changes from what it inherited to it from its parents actually make it a little bit worse? What do you think? And please explain why. All right. This should take you at least 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, that is it. We did it. I know that was a lot, but man, this summarized like 3 entire units. It was awesome. Maybe even 4 entire units if you include our reproduction unit. I hope you did your very best on this. I hope this video helped, and thanks for watching.